You weren't tall enough to reach the rim. The ball was too heavy for your hands. Your sneakers had holes, and the court was cracked concrete behind your house. But none of that mattered, because when the ball bounced, it spoke to you. The rhythm made sense in a way nothing else did. It was like the first time something in the world actually listened back. That crooked hoop nailed above the garage wasn't just a rim. It was your altar. And every shot, no matter how ugly, felt like prayer. You weren't chasing fame. You weren't dreaming of scouts or trophies. You just wanted that moment of magic. The silence between dribbles. The split second where life slowed down and nothing else existed but you and the ball. But here's the thing no one tells you at 7 years old. The game doesn't love you back. Not forever. Not the way you think it will. And one day, you'll learn just how cruel that truth can be. The first real test came in school tryouts. The sneakers around you weren't torn anymore. They were shiny Nikes. The kids weren't just bigger. They were giants compared to you. Every drill was a reminder. Height is currency, and you were broke. The coaches barely glanced at you. The clipboard already had favorites, and when the teams were picked, you weren't starting. You weren't even playing. You sat on the bench while parents in the stands screamed their lungs out for other kids. Every cheer felt like it stabbed through your chest. That's when you learned the first brutal truth of basketball. Talent gets attention. Size gets respect. Effort, sacrifice, hours in the driveway, those don't matter if you don't look the part. And sitting there, jersey on, but heart sinking, you felt the sting of being invisible. Not because you weren't good enough, but because nobody cared enough to notice. That night, while the other kids played video games, you went back outside. The court was dark, the rim invisible, but you could still feel it. Bounce, dribble, shoot. You told yourself if they wouldn't notice you, you'd make them notice. And so the obsession began. Fingers blistered from endless dribbles. Sneakers ripped apart on the blacktop. Knees screaming before middle school even ended. While your friends wasted summers, you chased perfection. Floaters until midnight. Push-ups between drills. Whispers of plays to yourself like spells. And the cruel irony? No recognition. No scouts. No applause. Just silence. But in that silence, you found peace. Because the grind wasn't punishment. The grind was the only place you felt alive. Still, a question lingered in the back of your mind. How long can you love something that refuses to love you back? Finally, a team jersey. Finally, minutes on the floor. But with minutes came pressure. A single turnover, and suddenly all eyes drilled into you. One bad pass, and the coach's voice thundered across the gym. The shooters could miss 5 in a row. Nobody cared. But you? You were the point guard, the organizer, the steady hand. That meant every mistake carried your name. Every broken possession was somehow your fault. And the crowd? They didn't forgive, not for you. Because you weren't flashy. You weren't the dunk highlight or the viral clip. You were invisible until you failed. Then everyone saw you. That's the curse of being the glue. The thing that holds the system together is the first to get blamed when it cracks. And you carried that weight in silence. High school ball was different. Louder gyms, real crowds, scouts lurking in the bleachers. But here's the ugly truth. It wasn't just about skill anymore. It was politics. The 6'3" guard with bounce but no discipline, he got 20 shots a night. You got 6. And you hit 4. Didn't matter. Scouts didn't see rhythm. They didn't see control. They saw dunks. They saw noise. And you were invisible by design. Coaches said they trusted you, called you steady and reliable. But those words started to sound less like praise and more like a death sentence. Because steady doesn't trend. Reliable doesn't get ranked. And when the machine of the system wants highlights, your game, your quiet, controlled, surgical game, doesn't stand a chance. You thought college ball would be the payoff. The jersey, the arena, the fans. But it wasn't a dream. It was a machine. The moment you stepped on campus, you weren't special anymore. Every kid there was the man at their old school. Every kid had highlights and clippings and hype. You were just another body. Because the moment you said you weren't, they'd find someone who was. The machine didn't care about your pain. It didn't care about your sacrifice. It only cared about noise. And you never made enough of it. No one tells you when it's over. There's no announcement, no final game you know is your last. It just fades. Minutes shrink. Touches disappear. Your name slips lower and lower on the rotation sheet. You're still in the huddle, still giving orders, still holding the team together. But deep down, you know, you're no longer a player. You're a placeholder, a relic. And when the freshman checks in for you again, the one who calls you OG and means it respectfully, you realize the cruelest truth. You've become the coach before you've even stopped playing. And nobody claps for the coach. There's no parade when it ends. No cameras waiting in the tunnel. Just a cold locker room and silence. You peel off your jersey like it's skin. Knees aching, ankles taped, no scouts watching, no fans screaming. Just you and the echo of the bounce. And maybe that's the hardest part. You gave everything. Your body, your time, your peace. And still, it was never enough. Because basketball doesn't reward control. It rewards noise. But as you walk out of the gym one last time, bag slung over your shoulder, something hits you. You remember the first bounce. The first crooked hoop. The first time the game actually listened back. That was yours. And no machine, no scout, no coach, no system can take that away. It sucks to be a basketball player. But once you've lived it, you'll never be the same. If this story hit you, if you've ever felt the silence of being overlooked, the pain of giving everything just to be forgotten, then you already know why it sucks to be a basketball player. And if you want more stories like this, the ones that tell the truth the highlight reels never will, hit subscribe, because the game might not notice you, but we will.